speedrunning Minecraft, but if I die, I have to run a mile and the video ends. At least that's what this video was supposed to be about. But then things got a little off track. And when things get off track, we say, okay, that's fine, I'm gonna go with it. And that's what we're doing in this video. I'm gonna say, hey, we're gonna watch this speedrun, a little sped up, obviously, because I'm not quite that fast yet. And we're gonna talk, and I'm gonna tell you about some things that I think are important to know. Because I think in life, you often have this need to perform perfectly. And then if you don't perform perfectly, you often fail. I think for me, while perfectionist might not be the perfect word to encapsulate me, I hold myself to very high standards. And when I don't meet those standards, I really push it down on myself. But I think that one thing that college has taught me is that a lot of times you're gonna perform to the best of your ability. You're gonna create something you're really proud of and you think is awesome and so cool and you poured your heart into, and then you're gonna realize that even though you think it's cool, it doesn't mean it's cool to everyone else. And there's a time where you have to realize that and learn that. I think something I'm doing with this YouTube channel is I really like having fun with it. I think it's super fun and a good way to spend my time. But the truth is, everything's not gonna go my way. And normally what would happen is I would film this video where, again, if I died, I would go run a mile. I'd run that mile, I'd probably die again, I'd run another mile. And then once that was all over, I'd be like, okay, whatever, we filmed this video and maybe it didn't go the way I wanted it to, so I would just scrap it and move on with my life. But I didn't want to do that. I want to post a video every week, and even if it's not exactly what I want it to be, I still want to make a video. So here we are just watching the speedrun. I think one thing that's super interesting when I think about it, like back in high school that is a little different than now in college, is whenever I would create something, it would always be immediately seen. Like, for example, I would make, again, video announcements for my school where every week on Friday it would be these videos in front of the entire school. And if they didn't go well, then I would get a lot of pushback. I would get people coming up talking to me and telling me how I didn't succeed to some kind of level. And being able to not have that necessary pressure in college is something completely different, because I can mess up, I can make mistakes, and there's no specific audience holding me to a higher standard. And that's something that's cool. I think that's an environment that everyone should strive for, and I think something in high school that I think allowed me to succeed but also held me back was this pressure to do exactly what I needed to do, because I would make these super cool video announcements, these super cool skits and everything that had to be professional, because I hold myself to a very professional standard. When in reality, all people wanted was something fun that they could sit back and enjoy and get out of class for a few minutes. And I think being able to hold yourself to that standard is good. So with this, I'm holding myself to the fact that we're watching this speedrun. I'm getting awful blaze rates, it's not really dropping, but I found the spawner. I'm doing well. 15 minutes in at the blaze spawner, for me, is a great time. I'm super happy with this beginning progress. But as I finally get this last blaze rod, I start heading back because I need to find a bastion. And in order to get a bastion, I mean, the fact that I need a bastion is important because I need to be able to get gold, I need to be able to trade with piglins, and just be ready to succeed in the game. The problem is there's no bastion near me. I'm searching. I keep searching. If you look at that timer right now it's 17 minutes. When we find that bastion, I want you to look at the timer again, because first I find a ruined portal. Great sign. I mean, that means I have gold, that means I have resources. Again, life is going good. But after I find this ruined portal, it's 18 minutes. I see that I can build the portal in case I need to get out. I save the cords, and then I'm like, okay, time to find the bastion. Let's go. However, sometimes the things we need are not the things that are close. They're not the things that are easy. And a lot of that comes down to strategy. I bet there was an easier way to find where the bastion was, but I just don't know how to do that yet, and that's something that I need to learn. But again, 19 minutes, now it's 30 minutes. 30 minutes I find the bastion. For 11 minutes, I'm just walking around in the nether doing nothing, just looking for something, for some indication of where I am or what to do. And I think that there's importance to that. I think a lot of times people with, especially YouTube and other like content created and driven things, will just use like maybe the idea of slash locate. They'll just find where the bastion is and say that they got there naturally, when in reality that's not what they did. And by showing something different, I don't think you're being true to the content you're producing. So again, I'm not saying that I'm like some magical, amazing person because I'm just showing everything that's going on, because I'm not that and I'm not winning, so that's not the same thing. But it's something that I think is important, is honesty and being fluid. Now, I don't really know how to use a bastion. If you've never played like speedrunning or exactly like beating the game in Minecraft, point of the bastion is you find a lot of gold in there, you find piglins, you trade with the piglins, and the piglins will give you ender pearls, so then you can make eyes of ender to get into the end. I don't know how to navigate these at all. I just am throwing gold around kind of and wandering left and right. So that's something I need to learn, but it's something that I'm trying to get better at, so I'm having a good time. Don't really know what to do. Again, I'm just kind of throwing gold in random places. Eventually I get all these piglins in this one area and I'm just trading gold with them. I get some pearls. So it's off to a great start. I mean, again, if you look time-wise, we were on a great pace beforehand, and just after that long search for the bastion, it's not quite as fantastic. I make a little hole for the tradey trades. I'm at 10 pearls right now, doing great. And if I get my next pearls, then I'm out of here. I'm doing good. Again, just like life, if I finish this next assignment, boom, I'm out of here. If I do this one more thing, then I'm all good. Now, you didn't see it, but because I skipped in front of it, but like 5 minutes pass and I don't get any pearls. Now, eventually, I then find some random piglins that I trade with and I get the final pearls. Then I start following my Eyes of Ender. If you see, it's currently at 42 minutes. So we're like, okay, we're just gonna keep following this way. We're gonna keep going on these trees, and I just keep going for minutes and minutes and minutes. 42, 43, and now we're at 48. So again, another 5 minutes that goes by. I could have just kept going forward, but instead I kept throwing these pearls, I kept trying, and I kept losing. Because that happens, right? This wasn't going to plan. This was a long process. And I throw this Eye of Ender, breaks, but I think I know where it is. It's generally in this direction. I'm finding the stronghold. Eventually I throw it, and it goes back in the other direction. So I know that the stronghold's over there. So I head to the stronghold. I dig down because I'm like, I know it's here. First I make some food because otherwise I would just die. Because, again, this whole challenge was if I die, I have to run a mile. And I really didn't want to be running a mile because I'm getting ready for a tournament tomorrow and I'm not in the mood to do that. So I start, I'm ready. I'll slow it down here once I get to a part. I go to a dead end. And when I'm in that dead end, I look around and I die to a creeper. And just like that, I, in my mind, realize I have to go run a mile. And not only that, but I have to redo all the work I've just done or find my stuff, which I go back in survival and I can't find any of my stuff. It didn't go to plan. But what it did do is it taught me a few things about speedrunning. It taught me a few things generally about life and being able to try things again. And it gave me a great chance to run a mile. So here's some footage from the mile, and remember that when things don't go as planned, it's okay, because you still got it. All right, have a great day. Enjoy just some fun footage of me running. All right, here we go. All right, there we go. 1 mile. It's time to go back to gaming. Let's go.